Bonnie, through a bear paw-shaped bubble, enters the memories of Big Bear. There, she sees a child with a shaved head, sitting on a grassy patch, sobbing uncontrollably. Enough already, I don't want to go back anymore. Can someone please help me? It hurts, he cries out. Instinctively, Bonnie recognizes the child as her father, Da Xiong, at a younger age. She moves forward, wanting to console her young father, curious about the unfortunate events that befell him. Suddenly, a group of people appears and surrounds Da Xiong, rudely pulling at him and hurling insults, threatening him to return. Despite Da Xiong's desperate struggles and pleas for them to let him go, they refuse to release him. I don't want to go back. I've had enough. Da Xiong cries for help. With determination, Bonnie starts running towards Da Xiong, wanting to assist her father. Though he seems to be right in front of her, she can't reach him. In that moment, Bonnie experiences an unbearable heartache, witnessing her father's sorrowful childhood, feeling utterly powerless. What does it feel like watching a group of individuals brutally dragging Da Xiong, seeing him in sheer anguish? If I have to go back, I'd rather die right here. It's the same as dying if I go back anyway. Da Xiong's struggle is immense, so people couldn't pull him away. A guy from behind raised his stick and harshly hit Da Xiong. Help, but his pleas went unheard. Da Xiong's cries and constant pleas for help as he was beaten reminded him of the days he was mistreated by the celestial dragons, which frightened him into repeatedly apologizing. Devastated, Bonnie emerged from Da Xiong's memory, for air, her whole body trembled. She looked at the bear paw-shaped bubble before her, facing a tough decision. Without summoning every ounce of determination and willpower, enduring those memories would be impossible. Yet, she needed to understand her father's past. What had happened to him? How else could she save her father? Wiping away her tears, Bonnie reached out for Da Xiong's memories once more. Meanwhile, Da Xiong's real body was climbing the red line barehanded. Atop the red line was Marie Ajoie. The Navy had encircled below, bombarding Da Xiong with cannonballs, determined not to let him invade Marie Ajoie. If he breaches into Marie Ajoie, it would be a disgrace to us Marines. Wait, do you Marines still have any dignity left? Dignity had long been trampled underfoot by the likes of Luffy, Whitebeard, and many other pirates. While investigating the research lair, Pythagoras was searching everywhere for the real body of Vegapunk. Suddenly, he heard footsteps coming from behind. Pythagoras stopped in his tracks, turning to look into the darkness behind him, thinking it might be the real body showing up. But out of nowhere, a shadow swiftly attacked him, followed by a loud Pythagoras hadn't even had the chance to respond before he was assaulted by the mysterious figure. Upon hearing the explosion, Sega immediately contacted Pythagoras via radio. But all he got was a burst of static noise. Pythagoras didn't respond to Sega again. Worried, Sega contacted the mobile surveillance in Section C, camera unit number 12, ordering it to scan the surroundings for any clues. The explosion had him deeply concerned for Pythagoras, hoping he hadn't been caught in an accident. As camera unit number 12 panned into the smoke, Sega, alert, spotted a shadow. He ordered the camera to closely examine the smoke. In the monitor, Sega saw, within the smoke, two luminous spots that resembled eyes. Suddenly, a beam of light shot through, destroying camera unit number 12. The monitor lost its video feed. At the same time, Nami contacted Luffy, inquiring if anything was amiss. Luffy informed Nami that all was well, except that Uncle Apple hadn't returned yet. Nami immediately checked with Zoro, learning that he had been by Luffy's side the whole time. Never leaving, Nami breathed a sigh of relief, advising Luffy to keep a close eye on Zoro and make sure he doesn't wander off. Let's not have anyone else getting lost. As the static in the headset grew louder, communication soon cut off completely. Luffy tried to use the radio to call Nami, Usopp, and Sanji, but got no response from any of them. It seemed the communication system was completely down. Luffy decided to go find Sega to inquire about the situation. Before leaving, he specifically instructed Zoro not to wander off, not even to leave the couch, as Zoro might not find his way back once he stood up. Explosions continued in various research facilities, quickly turning the place into a sea of flames. In the unseen areas of the monitors, the face of Angel S. Snake emerged. Sega attempted to call Edison, York, and Lillith, but none of them responded. When Luffy found Sega, he explained that his radio was silent too, stressing that it definitely wasn't his fault. It was too expensive for him to afford breaking it. Sega showed Luffy the monitoring screens, all of which were blank. At that moment, a mysterious person hidden in the darkness was destroying the surveillance, and Den Mushi intentionally cut off all communications, isolating everyone. On the third floor of Building, the trio of Nami, Brook, and Edison were searching for the real body of Vegapunk. Vegapunk's shadow was nowhere to be found, causing significant frustration. The research facility was massive. Where were they to start looking for one missing person without any clue? Clearly, Vegapunk wasn't playing hide and seek with them. However, it turns out Vegapunk was kidnapped. As they were walking, Nami's eyes suddenly lit up. She found a chest full of gemps. The first words out of her mouth were, "Give them to me." Edison couldn't help but remark how strange it was that most people's first reaction to seeing gemps would be to admire their beauty. Yet Nami went straight for the grab, stuffing her backpack until it was bulging. It became too heavy to carry. "Let's head back," she concluded, realizing the load was too much. Edison commented on how excessive it was, reminding her, "We're here to find Vegapunk, not haul treasure. How can we search with all this stuff?" With no choice left, Nami thought of leaving the backpack full of gemps behind and retrieving it later. At this point, Edison reminded her, "These are all synthetic diamonds for industrial use." Nami paused her brisk walk. "What did you just say? Diamonds can be manufactured. The future is full of dreams. I've even decided what to do after retiring from pirate life." Edison, aghast at her ambition, urged, "Let's just find Vegapunk quickly." On the second floor of Building, the trio of Chopper, Robin, and Atlas were searching. The whole research facility was brimming with advanced scientific equipment, which amazed Chopper and Robin, making them marvel at the allure of science while Atlas had gone ahead to scout. His face was beyond recognition, but Chopper was astonished to see Atlas looking just the same as before after the repairs, almost like wearing a mask. Atlas told Chopper that appearance and physique can be altered to preference in the future. As the trio passed a culture, Robin looked at the squishy entities inside and calmly speculated if any of these could be Vegapunk. Atlas explained that the culture tanks were synthesizing artificial organs, a critical technology of future science. On the second floor of Walt Ditch, Sanji, Stussy, and Saint Pei formed a group, but it seemed like only Saint Pei was seriously searching for the real body of Vegapunk. Sanji was too busy flirting with Stussy, and Stussy kept herself occupied by fending off Sanji. Stussy, who had made an appearance during Big Mom's tea party, was back as a spy for the world government CPO disguised as the Queen of Pleasure District. Such a beauty, Sanji was absolutely smitten, and with just a simple silly boy, Stussy had captured Sanji's soul, turning him into an obedient puppy. That's classic Sanji for you, never disappointing. But oh Sanji, if only you saw Stussy's current old lady form, you'd be in for a shock. Saint Pei, gazing at the endless expanse of the research facility, remarked that searching from end to end would go on forever. Stussy reminded Saint Pei and Sanji that they were in the weapons development layer. In the strictly no-collision zone of Block C's third floor, the group consisting of Franky, Usopp, York, and Lillith was on the move. York yawned as he walked, seemingly forever in a state of just waking up. Usopp expressed concern that the longer they took, the quicker the world government's reinforcements would arrive. Lillith, brandishing her bubble gun, declared that if enemies approached, she'd use it to eliminate them. The bubble gun could reflect anything, a formidable bubble attack, indeed. Franky was fascinated by this technology, seeing its potential in rebounding attacks, which he found quite magical. Lillith suggested if Franky was interested, he could give it a try. After all, it was a weapon designed by Vegapunk, bound to be impressive. Leading the group, York stumbled upon the site of a massive explosion, the same location where Pythagoras had experienced the explosion. As the four cut through the smoke, they found Pythagoras lying on the ground, a tragic scene with his head blown off. Yet, Pythagoras' head managed to find its way back, indicating he wasn't entirely gone. Following Pythagoras' head, the perpetrator emerged. The Blaze Angel Death Adder, clearly the one causing destruction in the laboratory, was none other than this creature. York approached Death Adder to engage in conversation, puzzled since Edison had already ordered a halt to their operations. Why would they act on their own? Just as York was distracted by Death Adder's charming... That's the latest from One Piece. Stay tuned and see you next time for more updates.